can feel the vibe. Chosen one of CG's tribe. Jumping in with flaring grace, half-face smiles on every face. Ribbit, and off we go. Tony's the star of the show. Bow down to Tony. He's the frog, our one and only. Chosen one, we've waited so long. Now he's back to right every wrong. Leaping through the streets at night, bringing joy and pure delight. Crowds are cheering everywhere. Frog Tony's back without a care. Left and hopping right, sparking magic in the night. CG's hero love so true. Tony's here for me and you. Bow down to Tony. He's the frog, our one and only. Chosen one, we've waited so long. Now he's back to right every wrong. Bow down to Tony. He's the frog, our one and only. Chosen one, we've waited so long. Now he's back to right every wrong. Every wrong! Leaping through the streets at night, bringing joy and pure delight. Crowds are cheering everywhere. Frog Tony's back without a care. Hopping left and hopping right, sparking magic in the night. CG's hero love so true. Tony's here for me and you. Me and you. Every wrong!
Ooh, good afternoon, meatbags. It is the chosen one of CG, the Chicano Stanley, the one, the only Frog Tony, and I am live once again. Man, last week was quite the fiasco. Last week I had to obviously not be live. I had to pre-record the episode of the Frog Tony show, which you are watching now. I had to record it last week because we had a holiday. Valentine's Day. There's no way, guys, that I was going to be able to do a live show on Valentine's Day. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys have nothing else to do, and I appreciate you guys watching the show last week, but I had things that I needed to attend to, so I couldn't do it live. But we are back. We are live, and you'll notice it's not Friday. It is Saturday. We're doing this show on Saturday. Probably wondering why. What's going on? I mean, 3 shows in. We already got a change of venue. We already got a change going on. And I hope this is going to be the last change, guys. My job was going 4 days a week. We went to a 4-day-a-week schedule. Then President Trump got elected, and suddenly we had an uptick in work. We had all kind of things to do. We had more orders coming in. Business is booming. And now it looks like I'll be working Fridays. Because of the time and everything, there's no way I would be able to get home and do a show at like 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, right? Even if it's every other week, even if it's like once in a while that I wouldn't be able to do it. I didn't want to keep interrupting the show for work. So I've moved it. We've moved it to Saturday. It should be fine. There should be nothing going on. They can make me come to work on a Friday. They cannot make me come to work on a Saturday. That's already, it's pre-baked into my contract. They know already I don't work Saturdays, never have, never will. So I don't have any fear of that. But that means you guys who are members will be getting 2 shows on Saturday. You'll be getting the Frog Tony show on Saturday afternoon, listening to me doing a solo show in my sexy, sultry voice. And then me, TJ, and other people will be live Saturday night doing the regular Gabbing with Geeks, detracting type show. So if you're a member, you're getting 2 shows, right? And obviously, if you're a higher tier member, you'll be able to watch the Frog Tony show's replays. Remember, after the 5th episode, guys, that's it. We're going members only to watch, and then Ultra Max super members, big $5.99 tier boys are going to be doing it with the replay enabled. So hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. We do have kind of an announcement, right? Kind of a last minute thing, something that I didn't plan to announce, something that I didn't even know I was going to be announcing. But I got a DM, just like, I want to say 15 minutes ago, right before we went live, got a DM. So next week, live on the Frog Tony Show, episode 4, we're going big for episode 4 because Ethan motherfucking Ralph will be here and we'll be talking. We're talking all kinds of things, talking about his rehab, talking about his problems, what he's doing going forward, his issues with Dick Masterson. It should be a fantastic fucking show. So guys, if there's an episode you don't want to miss, you don't want to miss the next one because Ethan Ralph will be here. We'll be talking. It should be crazy. It should be wild. Speaking of wild times, craziness, if you watched the stream from last night, that would be the 221 stream, the emergency ISOM 3 launch stream that we did, are detracting. It was myself and Mr. Manny Muskets. You're not familiar with Manny Muskets. He's a professional comedian, a very funny individual. He was here all night long. It started off a little shaky. Manny was trying to get his Grubhub order, so he wasn't really into the show. He wasn't really paying attention, but after he got his food, after he got satisfied with his order, everything was fantastic. It was probably one of the greatest shows that we put on in a long time, right? The chemistry, the back and forth, the jokes. I was laughing. Everyone was having a good time. The chat loved it. So if you haven't seen Detractor Cast, if you haven't seen what we've been doing on this channel, if you just happen to wander in, you're like, what's going on? Who are these people? Last night's show was definitely one to watch. Very funny, hilarious. Manny is obviously invited to come back whenever he wants. It was a great show, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it. Because really, that's what it's about, right? I don't do this YouTube stuff for fame and fortune. That's a bonus. That's extra, right? I do it to entertain people. I do like it entertaining. I like the attention, right? Let's just face it. If I had a choice between nobody watching and getting a lot of money versus a lot of people watching but getting a little bit of money, I would pick that one. I would pick more people paying attention to me and watching than I would money. And because I'm a fucking whore, okay? Let's just put it out on the table. I am a fame whore. I'm an attention whore. I like people watching, looking at what I'm doing. So we're going to go with that as my answer. Final answer, lock it in. So guys, watch last night's show. It's fantastic. It's great. This whole week has been great. In fact, we put on a show the other day, Thursday, I'm going to say. Yeah, it was Thursday. We went open panel, no ads, and you guys responded in kind. We had a great show. We had Altoy Fanboy, some other people, Steven Lanudo, Lance. We had a guy from the old days, way back in the Amico days, show up. He jumped on stream, right? He was giving the props, giving his little opinion. And again, it was fun. It was fantastic. And I think, and I put out a tweet, right? Because a lot of people have reached out to me. A lot of people have contacted me since we've done that show and said, hey, we enjoyed the B team, right? They enjoyed the CG B team that I put together. And they think that they should get their own show. They should get their own show here on the channel, on the network, if you will. And really, if you go way back, if you go back into the catalog of videos, live streams and stuff, I've always talked about this idea, this concept for the channel. Originally, when I started doing YouTube, I was forced onto YouTube to do an interview with Tommy Tellerico, and I never really wanted to make this a career, make this a job, to do YouTubing as any sort of hobby or living. I didn't like talking into a microphone. I didn't enjoy it. I do now. Love it now. Will not give it up for the world. But back in the, a couple years ago, I didn't want to do this. I didn't like it. And the original intention was the website, thegeekgetaway.com. The website had writers, had people interested in doing this kind of content. And in order to have some synergy between the written word and the spoken, right? Like, we couldn't count on other YouTubers to cover articles. We couldn't count on other YouTubers necessarily to pick up our work and run with it and give us props and all that. So we figured, hey, we'll just do it ourselves. So originally, the idea was that our writers and other people would make videos for the channel, link back to the articles. The articles would link to YouTube channel, and there'd be a synergy between the two, right? And that never really worked out. We tried it a little. We had some guys doing some tabletop RPG stuff, but things happen. People get busy. Priorities change. People are all in until they're not. And you've seen it recently, right? People will be in, they love it, they like doing it, then suddenly, for whatever reason, they no longer like doing it, right? And it's the weirdest thing. Most people, when they walk away from here, when they walk away from the channel, they do it quietly, and it's not a big deal, right? There's no hard feelings, no animosity. But a few people have walked away, and what was once Tony's fantastic. We love Tony. He's great. He could do no wrong. The second they don't like me anymore, suddenly everything I've ever done in the history of forever was wrong. Every comment that they've made is suddenly have been a lie. And actually, the truth is Tony's actually a horrible person, and we all hate him, and no one's ever liked him. And behind the scenes, he was really, really terrible, right? Then you go, like I said, you go like a week prior with her singing my praises and saying how everything was fantastic and copacetic, and everybody loves it. So I always say, never believe angry people or people who've been scorned or people who have reason to be mad at somebody, right? An ex-employee, an ex-girlfriend, an ex-wife, all those people are, an ex-friend. They're all angry. They all they say things that they don't mean, and I don't put credence in it, and I would expect you guys to do the same. But I'm off track. I'm off track from what I'm saying. So yeah, the idea, the intention was to make this channel a multi-person, right? Have several people doing videos, doing streams. Obviously, when we got monetized, because this was set up way before we were even monetized, I always said, when we get monetized, I'll definitely share the profits with people equally as they deserve it, right? You put on a show, you should get the profits from that show, whether it's super chance, whether it's ad revenue, whatever, right? We'd work out a deal. It was always, we'd work on a deal, right? And so right now, currently, and I'm not, going to shy away from, but currently right now, Potion Sword Run makes videos for the channels, and I pay him. I approached Potion. I said, I like what you do. I like your videos. I think you need more attention. I think you need more people, more eyes on your content, right? And I need more content for my channel. So I approached Potion, and we came to an agreement, a financial agreement. And I said, hey, put your videos on the channel, and I'll pay you X amount of money, and we'll go from there. And that has worked out pretty well. I think people enjoy the videos that Potion has done for the channel. It's getting pretty good response. Not knocking Potion's channel, but I do see that he's getting more views on some of the things here than he would probably have gotten over there, just because he's a smaller channel, and the way algorithms and everything work, we have a different audience. His audience is going to come here, plus he's got my audience looking at this stuff, and so I think it's a benefit for both, right? He gets linked at the end of the videos. You got the link to go to his channel. I usually link a video from my channel that he did, plus a video from his channel that he did, right? So I think it's a benefit for both of us, right? I get content, he gets attention, he gets word of mouth, and he gets a little money. He gets a little pocket change, right? So I think it works out really well. And I've definitely in 2025 want to expand this idea, right? Because I can only stream so many days. I can only make so much content. I have other priorities, other things I got to do. So I really would like to try to expand this idea out. And with people saying that they love the B team, right? They love the B team. They love what the B team did on the stream. I did leave them alone. People were asking me about that. I dipped out to try to see what would happen, right? I do this often. You'll notice when I have new people on or people that I think that might have a future on the channel, I'll dip out and leave them alone and see how they handle it, right? See how they respond. Do they shut up? Do they clam up? Can they run a stream? Can they run the chat? Can they do things without me holding their hand, essentially? And I think the B team did pretty good, right? I dipped out. There was no problems. There was no dead air. They just carried on with a conversation on their own. They started talking. Everything was good. So I think I might put together a permanent B team and give them a show, whether it's a Friday. I think Friday might work the best because, I do Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. So we got Tuesday, Friday, Sunday free, right? So I could give them a show on any of those days. And I know a couple of them are, interested in such an idea, we got to work out the specifics and stuff, but I think we can get something going, right? And like I said, I know you guys enjoy it. I know you guys it'll be a break for me. It'll be a little different content, right? People will be able to see other opinions on the matter. You'll get a fresh perspective, a fresh take, even if it's content that you've already seen, right? Even if it's things that I've reacted to. When you get new people coming in, right? They react to it, and it's like fresh content, right? It's like you take that stale bread and you put it back in the oven, and suddenly it's fresh again, right? Last night we did that, right? Manny, who really has no, he has no skin in the game. He's not someone really invested in the tracting of Eric July. But he came on, and because he was new and fresh, he's looking at it from a fresh perspective. He's giving his opinions, with no bias, no preconceived notions. And I think you guys enjoy that. I enjoy it, right? I get to, explain things to him. And so that kind of brings anyone who isn't up to speed, right? So I'm really, really considering this, right? And so if you're watching this, if you want to be part of the B team, if you think you got something to contribute, or if you have an idea, right? If you have an idea to pitch, right? I'm all ears. We can try to work out some kind of arrangement, some kind of deal, right? If you say, hey, Toby, I got an idea. Let me try to do a show on your channel about X, Y, and Z. And like I said, we can have conversations, we can talk, and we can see what we can get going, right? Friday Night Tights, Geeks and Gamers, they have a whole network of people. They do this, and it's a success. And it's weird that no one else is trying to do the same thing, right? So we're trying to do it here. We're trying to do it here. We're trying to do it big. And hopefully you guys respond well to that, right? So, like I said, great week. I've had a fantastic week. No real issues, no real problems. No one's bothering. I've decided, to just move on. There was some things, right? Last couple of weeks, you guys probably have noticed there's been some people poking at me on Twitter, some people poking at me on YouTube, and I've kind of poked back a little and, throw a little jabs and made a little snarky comments, and kind of just figured it's not worth it, right? It's not really worth it. I don't like to give credence to any lies or rumors or innuendos and stuff, right? And so I think, I got to do the whole just ignore the bullshit, right? I'm going to get dragged into pointless conversations, pointless back and forths. I'm going to spend much of my time, trying to prove my innocence, trying to prove my side of a story, trying to, make people see my side. For what? For what, right? So that 3 people in a therapy session could be happy. So a couple of people that maybe watch a live stream can be satisfied. I think it's not worth it. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the energy or even headspace, right? So going forward, all that shit. It's like I said the other day, right? You want to talk about me? Go ahead. You have my permission. You have full permission from me, right? I'm giving you the privilege, the honor to go ahead and, make fun of me, say whatever you want. It really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? You can try to attack me. You can try to make fun of me, say things about me, but no one cares. No one's paying attention. No one watches you. They come here. No one's coming here because Tony's the coolest guy on the block. No one's coming here because, Tony's rich and famous. And no one's coming here because I'm the best looking guy they know. People come here to hear my opinion because I am a smart, articulate, funny, entertaining individual who talks about a topic they're interested in. That's it, right? And as long as I keep doing those things, I figured it out, right? As long as I keep being entertaining, as long as I keep having intellectual conversations about topics that people are interested in, people will keep coming, right? That's it. Even if they don't like me, even if they go, hey, I hate that guy, he's a fucking scumbag, but I really do want to hear what he has to say about the new Isom book. I don't like that guy. I think he's fucking ugly. He's fat, so overweight, out of shape. He's a slob. I don't like him, but he's right about that Isom thing, and I should probably listen to what he has to say. So going forward, that's going to be the plan, right? All right. What else we got? We got a lot to talk about. I got several tabs open. We got to review a comic book. It is a mainstream. We're reviewing a mainstream comic book this week. It's going to be fantastic, guys. But before we do that, I want to take a look at last week's comments, right? I think in order to give you guys incentive, motivation to comment on the videos and stuff, I think we should look at the comments from the previous week at least, right? To kind of give you guys a little something to go off of, right? A little. So Grumpy was in there just commenting up a storm. I love it. Dang, missed it live. Replay squad it is then. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys watching the replay. Appreciate you guys, watching it after the fact. I do know from doing a little bit of research that watching it at 2x speed, guys, only gives me half the watch time. So if you want to give me full watch time, you got to watch it at regular speed, right? But I still get the views, right? The view count is right, but the watch time will be off if you watch it at anything less than 1x speed, which is weird. You would think YouTube would have some sort of adjustment for that, because technically I did watch the whole video, even if it's 2x speed. I just watched it twice as fast. But whatever. Grubby says, I cannot believe you were asked to pay for someone to come to your stream. That is not how this works. No. Yeah, I think you misunderstood, Grumpy. They didn't want to be paid to come to the stream. They wanted to be paid after the fact, right? So it wasn't like, give me $5 and I'll be on your stream. It was like, I was on your stream. You made $30 in super chats. I need some of that money. Some of that money belongs to me, right? At the very least, if I pay you up front, I say, hey, I want you on the show. Here's $5, right? $10, $20, whatever. That's like an upfront agreement. You're going to be here and nothing. But this is after the fact. This is like, I asked to come on your show, or I volunteered to come on your show, and then I seen how much money you made, and I went, well, I was here, so I deserve some of that, right? It's like if you just showed up to McDonald's, jumped the counter, started, filling orders, and you went, I want a paycheck. Yeah, that's not how that works, right? You have to have an agreement. You have to come to some sort of, agreement between you and the employers, right? You can't just get paid. You can't just show up to some job site and start doing work and then go, hey, where's my paycheck? That's not how it works, right? That is definitely not how it works. But that's how people wanted to treat this. That's how they wanted to treat this whole YouTube streaming thing, which is fucking weird to me, right? And again, I think that speaks more of them than it does of me, right? It speaks of the fact that it's about money for them, right? It was never about friendship. They always talk about, it's about friends and about going on stream and having fun. So then why are you bringing up how much money I made? Why are you bringing up that I didn't give you any of the super chats or any of the ad revenue, right? Really, it is all about the money, right? It's all about the money. It's all about that I'm making it and you're not. And that really upsets you. And I'm sorry. If you want money, if you want super chats, if you want ad revenue, make your own stream, make your own content, do your own thing, get a following, get popular, and get people to give you money. It's that simple, right? I mean, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Grubby also says, my gaming backlog is still on PS3. I don't game much because I got to draw and write. I have 500 plus games. I'm veering into the 600 game territory right now on the PlayStation 4, 5, because it's the same server. But on my PlayStation 3, I haven't counted, but I would venture a guess that I have at least 50 to 55 games on the PS3 that are PS3 exclusive, right? Like you can't buy them on PS4. There's no like PS5 version. And these like PS3 exclusive games that are stuck there on there. And I have it hooked up. I have it set up. I can play it. I bought a controller. I just haven't got around to it. So there's like 55 games in my account that are PS3 only, that only work on the PS3. So I got to get to those too, right? I got to get rich. I got to get really rich in such a way that I could just stop doing everything and only play video games. But then I also have to sort of get over the hump of being bored with video games, right? It says Canada would need to be 5 states and kick out Quebec. Well, hell yeah, right? See, we're all on board. We're all on board for invading Canada. Biden made a law that prevented a lot of drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. That is why Trump renamed it to the Gulf of America. He couldn't executive order our way out of Biden's annoyance and renamed the Gulf. Yeah, that's why I think so too. I believe that's the real truth. he has to go through the charade. He can't go out on TV and go, "Oh, by the way, guys, I'm just trying to get around this executive order from Barack," right? So he's got to kind of put on the show, do the theatrics, but the behind the scenes, the real reason is he wants to do some of that drilling. Kinnikuman is indeed awesome. Yes, it is. I just finished watching an episode earlier while I ate some breakfast. I'm amazed, marveled by how well it is done, both the audio and the visuals, and it's action packed. It is exactly like the manga. Like I said, I don't know how mainstream comics are going to compete, but they got to figure a way out. Right? They got to figure a way to get on TV. I think that's the key. Even if Marvel, I don't understand. Marvel has a channel, a YouTube channel. I think DC probably has one too, right? Warner Brothers. Monetize that shit, right? Make an animated show or something. Even if it's like a webtoons, like a small. It doesn't have to be like a multi-million-dollar project with like huge name actors and shit. Voicing characters. As long as it's good, I think. You'll get some backlash. Obviously, I think that's the difference too. I think. Manga having bad voice actors or having bad dubbing or the sub was a little bad, right? There's a little backlash, but I don't think it's as vitriolic, right? It's not as present as if Marvel or DC did something, right? But do something, get the kids interested in the characters, right? And I think that'll help. Again, I think the kids are the key, right? Get children interested in mainstream comics, mainstream comic characters, and I think then you'll see an increase in people buying comic books. It says you might need to make an anime and wrestling channel if you enjoy it enough that it won't feel like work. I know I would watch it. I can't speak for the Tractor fans, for the matter. Same with gaming, I think. Yeah, I would. Like I said, I was thinking of trying to do something like that, and I did it before where I made like a second channel, sort of be like a dumping ground for content. But again, it's like taking off a day, right? And this is why another reason why I kind of want like a B team or other people to do content, right? Because if I take off Tuesday and there's nothing on the channel, that hurts the algorithm, that hurts the analytics and everything. And if I do another show on the channel, that's going to hurt it even more. If I do a second channel, and then that's taking my attention away from the first channel. See, again, because I have a day job, right? If I was like a huge YouTuber, if I was someone with, just time on my hands, no job, just sat around, then it would be so easier, right? It's easy to say to do these things. And, at my job, I'm constantly at my job. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm like, man, I can't wait to go home. I'm going to do this video. I'm going to do this thing. And I'm doing the editing in my mind already. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And I have this come out, boom, boom. And, I have these big, grand plans for what I'm going to do when I get home. And then I get home and I'm fucking tired, right? I'm too exhausted to record a video, to do some editing, to throw in some clips, to figure all that out, right? That's why my content has been so lazy. Or it's like, oh, it's just Tony talks and maybe there's like a little thing on the screen or something, right? Because I'm tired from working, right? I enjoy my job. It pays well, but it is tiring, right? I'm there from 4. I get up at 4:30 in the morning and I don't leave my job until 3 o'clock. I don't get home till 4. So like 12 hours of my day is dedicated to work and being awake. So it's 12 hours of awake doing a job that's physically demanding. I get tired. It is what it is. And even when I have vacation, I'm just like so tired from the previous week that I'm like, man, I can't even take advantage of the vacation. But yeah, I'll figure something out. He says, I never thought manga was easier to move to animation as much as I believe they were built to work together from the start and not generally looked down upon, whereas comics have always been not built in with animation in the U.S. Always been a pain to me that they are looked down upon, and yet that's how I want to make a living. I say it's easier to move it from manga to animation, but it probably is because it is built that way. But I think also, if you look at mainstream comics, right, we always in our mind, right, when you think of comic books, you're thinking of these, action-packed scenes, these fights, this, that, and the other, right? But if you actually read comic books, if you actually go into your collection, grab like 6 issues, right, 6 issues in a row of a Spider-Man, a Hulk, or whatever, right, and you look at the actual amount of action in the books, the actual amount of downtime of just, I think that's why comics don't work as well, right? Because do you want to sit and watch a 30-minute cartoon or 20 minutes of it is, Peter Parker going to work, getting yelled at, he's on the bus, he's talking to MJ, he's walking around the university. It's like, wow, there's a lot of just not dead air, but like not very interesting stuff, right? And again, you read manga and it's like Goku's like, oh man, I really don't want to eat Chi-Chi, and then like boom, 5 minutes, you flip the page and suddenly he's fighting Piccolo for the next like 45 pages in a row, right? I think that's again the difference. That there's a lot more action. Even the non-action stuff, even the mundane stuff, is more action-packed than the comic book mundane stuff, right? Because they're over the top. They go big, and the expressions and all the little manga tropes that are in there aren't present in comic books, right? Spider-Man doesn't go to the store and suddenly like his eyes get huge and he's like, oh my god, look at they got fucking Fritos on sale, right? But you can get that in a manga, and so that makes even like a stupid scene where like them going to the grocery store exciting, right? It makes it interesting to watch, right? Comic books are interesting to read, right? But I don't think they're necessarily always interesting to watch or to even look at. So I don't know. Maybe that's just my interpretation of it. And again, this is someone who likes comic books. I like reading. I enjoy the story and everything. But I just don't think sometimes the story translates to animation, right? I don't know how they got to get around it. Maybe, cut out the mundane stuff, add a lot of narration, kind of skip some of it. All right. I haven't read those so far. Kevin Stiff has been, Kevin Stuff has been Underworld, and I did like that. I believe he also did that Wesley Snipes comic. I backed and never got. Ooh, I didn't know he did a Wesley Snipes comic. All right. Robco says, that's how I got back into video games. Find something that benefits your life, even if it's on a subconscious level. Sometimes falling into a solution works better than searching and stressing for one. Well, update on that, right? And I wanted to save that until I got to the comments. But update on the video game thing. I bought 2 games. Right after the stream, I bought 2 new games. Rogue Waters and Warriors Abyss. I've had a fucking fantastic. I can't put them down. I love both of these games. And I think they've solved my issue, right? And again, because there's not a lot of story, there's not a lot of talking, there's not a lot of downtime. It just throws you into the action, right? Warriors Abyss is like, hey, some demons taking over hell. We need you, Dynasty Warriors people. And then boom, you're just playing. You're playing a roguelike game, going through levels, defeating guys, going to the next level, doing this. And again, I think because in a roguelike, dying, defeat, and all that, it's not a negative, right? It's not like in a regular game, if I'm playing for an hour and I die and now I got to start all over, it's like, damn, I wasted an hour, right? And so you're like, it's almost stressful sometimes, right? Because shit, I only got so much time. I can't die. If I lose this boss battle, I got to replay it. It was like 20-minute boss battle, right? But like with a roguelike, you die, but you get benefits from dying, right? Oh, you died, but your character got stronger. So the next time you fight, and so it's almost part of the process, right? It's part of the gameplay. It's part of the loop. And so I don't feel bad, right? I don't feel bad that I lost. I don't feel bad that I've started back from the first level, because again, that's part of the game. And so I think that's what's cracked the code for me. I think playing roguelikes might be what I do going forward. I think that's my issue. But yeah, Rogue Waters is really good. It is a strategy roguelike, fantastic with pirate setting. And then Warriors Abyss is like an action, a hack and slash roguelike. So TJ says, I have the same sort of apathy towards games, but the cure towards said apathy was making them a social event in my circle. Playing PS2 with my old friends, it's sort of because we're middle-aged and easily bored. It's like Vito with his Metal Gear board game. We'd rather go back to some games we played together as teenagers and bring back those memories than do something extravagant. We can do those things, but maybe we're old. We even play Vampire Survivors together instead of any MMOs or arena shooters. I really think the game sucks. I really think new games suck. That might be it, right? Maybe I got to start playing more local, less online gaming. There's one pressed about not earning an audience or money for their streams. They say they do it to hang out with friends. Which one is it? Do you want money or to fool around? We know it's the former, and they're in denial that they have no talent. Just like comics, radio is also an art. Yeah, it is. It's hard, right? Go back to my earlier streams. Go back to like my first streams and videos and stuff. It's rough. They're fucking rough. Like, I'm almost embarrassed. I almost want to get rid of them from the channel, right? If it wasn't for like the views and the algorithm and just the historical preservation of these things, right? I would probably just delete them all. But my early shit is rough. And it's not just audio rough, right? Like, I could look past the audio and go, well, the content was at least good. It was at least entertaining or funny, right? But like, none of that. Like, I'm bad on the audio. I'm bad on the entertainment. Bad on the jokes. Fucking hokey, hacky. It takes me forever to get to the point. It takes me forever to pull things up. Like, I'm just all around terrible presentation, terrible everything. That's why for many times I've looked at some of those videos and I go, man, I should really like do a remaster, do like a remake, right? Like I want like a do-over on some of those. Cause like some of those topics I could actually still talk about, right? Whether it's like a video game review or movie review or something, right? Like I could remaster that to make a superior version of that. I just don't know if anyone would be interested in it, but I know I can do that, right? So, all right, what else we got? Says Arioka, which is again another old school guy. I love seeing these old school guys pop up every once in a while, right? As much I love the new fans, don't get it twisted, right? I love you new guys, but seeing the old guys, right? Seeing people who were here. And then, they kind of went away because I stopped talking to Miko or retro gaming stuff. But seeing them pop up, it's nice. It's nice. It's like, oh, you guys are still paying attention, right? Even if maybe you don't watch the video or the stream, you're still at least looking at the alert and going, hey, that's Tony. I didn't unsubscribe. I still, hey, oh, that's a topic I like. I'll pop in, see what he has to say. So I appreciate that. So Arioka says, you're probably bored of so many tedious AAA games, but Amico will make you a hardcore gamer once again. Yeah. Beefy says, I was there behind the scenes talking with you right before the Telerico stream started. Yeah, dude, like I said, man, that first interview, that first stream, oh, man, I was nervous. I was a wreck. It was terrible. Beefy knows. If you want the dirt, you got to talk to Beefy. But no, don't actually ask him. Beefy don't give anyone the dirt. He has it. And if I die, Beefy, you could release all the dirt. But until then, don't do that. 56K warning. No, actually, hold on. Aaron says, get WWE 2K25. We can do online GM mode up to 4 people. That's interesting. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll think about that, Aaron. I know I really didn't like the GM mode from 23. And they're so like bare bones. Like, I'm spoiled by like games that are just GM modes, right? Like games like the Total Extreme Wrestling series, right? It's all GM mode. There's no like graphics, there's no anything. It's just numbers and things going up and using a lot of your imagination. But it's way more in depth in the GM mode stuff than any GM mode that's ever been in a WWE game. And I'm pretty sure with like the 23, like it had a bunch of glitches and a bunch of errors. Like you would make a match, like, okay, I'm going to have Hulk Hogan fight The Rock, and I'm going to have Ted DiBiase run in, and then suddenly, like the game would just decide to turn it into a tag match. You're like, no, that's not what I put on the GM. That's not what I did, right? So, as long as it actually functions and does things, then yeah, I'd be up for that, something like that. But here's the thing: if we were to do that, Aaron, if we were to do like a GM mode, right? Like a GM live stream, you gotta do commentary, right? We gotta do commentary. We gotta like let the matches play and like pretend like we're the fucking guys in the commentator booth, right? Call the action. I think that would make it fun and interesting, you know? Cut the promos, right? Like, okay, The Rock comes out because like GMO, like I said, it's really like bare bones. It's like, oh, The Rock came out and talked smack to Ric Flair, but it doesn't give you like a Rock thing. So like, hey, all right, Aaron, now you got to go and do The Rock, you know, promo. You got to cut The Rock promo for us, right? Bring us into the action. I think that would be fun. I don't know if anyone would watch it. It'd be like the three of us just doing it and like goofing on each other, but I think that would be fun. All right. 56 says, it's normal to wanting to do other things. Best part about being a functioning adult, you're able to do whatever you want. Now you know why we laughed at your 50 games nerd accolades. Don't laugh, dude. 100 games 2 years ago, okay? Don't be jealous. Don't be hating because I can beat games because I'm good at games. Steve Alvarez says, I'm not sure if it's the format or something that isn't possible. Is there a way to have parts of the stream to list topics on the stream bar? I'd like to know what topics would be for discussion, maybe on the description box as well. Definitely, that's definitely what I can do after the fact. Going into the stream, I really don't know when and where the topics will be, right? I kind of know what topics I want to talk about, but I don't know, how long I'm going to be. It might be a 10-minute thing. It might be a 5-minute thing, right? But I could definitely listen to it back and then timestamp it, and then it will put the timestamps and everything on the video after the fact. So I could definitely do that. So I used to have a guy. I think TJ Laser used to be the guy that did that. He used to go in the comments and tell me where all the timestamps were. And then he got lazy and stopped. When I brought TJ onto the streams, he stopped commenting all the timestamps. Lazy bum. Coop DeJour says, no clue what he's talking about. Yeah, that seemed to be a common thing around here. I just ramble on and no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about. All right. I saw this tweet. Dick Masterson brought this tweet to my attention. And man, guys, I don't know if I don't like to get political. I always say this, right? I want to get political. I don't care what your opinion on politics is. I want to hear it. I'm not going to give mine for the most part, right? I'm a Trump guy, but that's as far as I go. But when I hear that the government wants to give me money, okay, I don't care if it was the Biden government, the Obama government, the fucking Clinton government, whoever, they want to give me money. I am all for that, okay? I am 100% behind. Give me money. I want it. I will take it. No questions asked, right? But so this guy Deebs, Florida says, I don't want a refund check. I want all of it being applied to the deficit. Don't be selfish by gambling with your kid's future. Think, says Deebs. Deebs, let me school you on something, Deebs. Okay. Why the fuck would I trust the government with my money? Why would I want the government to take my money? Right now, Trump wants to give me money. He wants to give me $5,000 that I can use for whatever I want. Whatever I want to use this money for, whether it's buying stupid shit, buying food, paying off debts, whatever. I can use it for whatever I want. Now, what you're suggesting is I give the government my money. The government who has already wasted money. The government who's years and years upon wasting our money, our taxpayer money, and all the income that they get. They've wasted it. They've driven up the deficit to obscene levels. And you want to give them the money so they can bring the deficit down, right? And then what happens after that, right? What's the next step, Deebs? Think, right? You said think. I want you to think, Deebs. Trump's out of office. Boom. We bring in the next guy. The next guy comes in and he goes, look, we got no deficit. We could, all those programs that Trump slashed, we now have money to pay for them. Hey, let's bring all that bullshit back because we have money because you stupid motherfuckers gave back the check. Why would I give the government my money that they've already wasted once to go ahead and try to waste it again? This makes no sense. If they want to give me money, I'm going to fucking take it, okay? And everyone else should agree to this. There should be no United States citizen going, give the wasteful government, give them my money, right? This is like, your crack addict brother stole $50 from you. And then one day he goes, here, I got that $50 back. And you want to give it back to him. No, that's okay, crack addict. Here, take the 50 back. I'm sure you're not going to buy more crack with that money. I'm sure that's not going to happen. I'm sure me giving you $50 is not going to fuck things up anymore. It is astronomically stupid to say, give the government the money so they can pay off the deficit. Like I said, this kind of shit just makes me fucking mad, right? Again, it's not even partisan politics I'm playing here, right? I'm being honest. It doesn't matter who the government is, right? The Democrats are in the office, libertarians in the office, Republicans, fucking communists. I don't care. Like, if they want to give me money, your response should be, thank you. Thank you. I will take your money. I will take that money gladly. Your response should never be, no. You could keep it. Keep the money, right? Fucking shit is that? What? Like I said, this guy, he has 19,000 followers. 19,000 people want to hear his opinion. This retarded motherfucker has 19,000 people listening to his opinion. 14,000 fucking likes. 14,000 retarded Americans, probably. Maybe some foreigners, right? We'll say half. We'll say half of them are, because, you know, it is a platform that's not just in the US, right? It's a platform that goes on. We'll say half of those people, 7,000. There's 7,000 retarded Americans. I'm not, I don't like being able to see people's likes, right? This whole, like, being able to like shit and people not being able to weaponize it, I think is fantastic. That was a great idea. However, in this case, I think we should be, Elon, you should release all 14,000 likes so we can make fun of these stupid motherfuckers for agreeing with this dumb fucking idea. Okay? That's all. That's all I want to say about that. Give back the money. Who the fuck wants to give back the money? Guys, this is fucking all right. I got sad news for the ladies. This is a I love the ladies. I love women. We all know that. We all know Tony's a lady lover, a women appreciator, right? So this next topic I want to discuss is for you, gentlemen. You know, you got nothing to say. There's nothing for you to talk about. There's nothing for you to say. Just sit back. We'll get to you guys. Don't worry. But this is for the ladies, okay? Hooters is facing bankruptcy as Gen Z men prefer to get stoned at home, gamble on their phones, and look at porn while waiting for DoorDash instead. And they got this nice picture of the ladies. Look at that. Look at that. It's nice little Hooter ladies and their little tight outfits, the little skinny ladies. Multiple ethnicities here. We got some whiteys. We got appears to be a light-skinned black lady. All right. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. This is every guy's fantasy to go to a nice restaurant and get some hot, sexy women, big old titties, tight little asses, with the little uniforms, a little fucking. But the reality is, this isn't what you get. Okay. If this is what was at Hooters, I would go there more often. What's actually at Hooters now is fat, overweight, out of shape, over the hill, post-wall, single mothers. I don't want that. That's not what Hooters was built on. That's why Hooters is losing fucking business, right? If I go to Hooters and the idea, the dream, the fantasies, you go there and you're going to see hot, sexy women, right? And then you get there and they're ugly. They should pay me. Hooters should pay me for false advertising, right? You've advertised on all your fucking commercials, all your billboards, all your fucking newspaper print ads, right? It's all hot, sexy women, big titties, fat asses, sexy, young, attractive. But you get there and it's old, ugly, out of shape, fat, single mothers. I don't want that. I think it should be illegal, right? I think, again, Hooters should be able to discriminate and not allow fatties in their business, right? Or male servers, right? They had that whole thing, that controversy where men wanted to work at Hooters. That's why you're failing, right? I don't care if it's Gen Z men. Old perverts would still go to Hooters and spend lots of money, right? We know this. I'm an old pervert myself. We would go there and spend lots of money if there were hot women there, right? If the women looked like the women on the little article, then yeah. But the reality is most Hooters don't have these kind of women there. Most Hooters don't feature hot, sexy women, right? So it's no surprise to me that a place that sells mediocre chicken wings with fat, ugly old women is going out of business. I mean, it's not a shock. Not at all. But I guess it is like I said, it's a shame. It's one for the ladies. Ladies, I guess you're no longer going to be able to rely on a Hooters salary, right? No longer is the Hooters girl route something that you can take, right? It's crazy. But poor Hooter ladies going to be out of work. Guys, we stay winning. We stay winning. All right. Speaking of winning, I liked the Fantastic Four trailer, right? We've heard me talk about it. You guys have heard me say that, I enjoy Marvel. I'm a big simp when it comes to Marvel, right? I don't simp for anything except Marvel, right? When it comes to Marvel, movies, TV shows, video games, I will be there 100% all the time, right? So I'm very excited by Fantastic Four, right? But for some reason, the memo hasn't been sent out to Pedro Pascal to shut the fuck up. Why? You would think after the Anthony Mackie stuff, right, where he said a little dumb, right? People got mad. He tried to walk it back. People were still mad, but it wasn't that bad, right? I think it was being a little blown up out of proportion, right? It was dumb, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily provocative, right? It was not necessarily something that's really going to push buttons. Pedro said, "Hold my fucking beer," okay? Pedro Pascal is punk. Says a world. He posted this, right? He didn't say this, but he posted this, so I guess he stands by it. This is what he agrees with. A world without trans people has never existed and never will. Why, Pedro? Why do you want to kill your movie? Why do you want to kill the Fantastic Four before they've even entered the MCU? We were getting a Fantastic Four movie that people were excited about, that people had no reason to hate. A lot of people were forgetting the thing with Gina, right? They're getting over the Gina Carano thing. They're going to pretend like he didn't have nothing to do with it. We were all copacetic. People were loving Ben Grimm. We were all good. And then you said this. You just waved fucking raw meat in front of rabid dogs. You said, hey, Nerdrotic, you haven't made a video on me in a couple days. Quartering. Would you like to make a video on me? Geeks and Gamers, how would you like to talk about me before my new movie comes out? Not only is this fucking retarded, okay, it's nonsensical. It doesn't even make sense, right? Obviously, the world has existed without trans people. There was a world without people, right? Clearly, for millions and millions of years, there was no humans on Earth. So if there's no humans, there could be no trans people. But also, trans people didn't exist until we had transition surgery, right? You could have confused people. You get people that had gender dysphoria, sure. Gay people, you could have all that. But the idea of a trans person, a person who was able to transition from one to the other, didn't exist until we had some sort of way to cut your dick off without killing you. Why do these? And again, I can overlook this. I can see this and go, yeah, that's retarded. Pedro Pascal is retarded. Obviously, he's not Reed Richards. He's not the smartest man on earth. He's a different person. He's an actor playing make-believe, right? As long as the script is good, I can watch the movie and be happy. I can do that. But I know that there is rabid fucking YouTubers that are going to eat this up, that they're going to fucking videos and live streams. There's going to be fucking clips going around. And of course, after that happens, then Pedro will double down. He will double the fuck down, and it's going to spiral out of control. And the Fantastic Four will be dead before the movie comes out. I mean, we already got to deal with the whole female Silver Surfer thing. Now this. It's crazy. So Pedro, please stop. Please stop. Someone at Disney, could you just put in your contracts that all your actors and actresses are not allowed to make any sort of post on social media? Disney should just take control of all their social media, and all they should post is movie updates, photos from like the set, photos from them like going to like dinners and galas, and like just generic, vapid, hey, it's Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a good weekend. That kind of shit, right? That's all celebrities should ever fucking post. They should have no opinions on anything. There should never be any sort of opinion post from a celebrity, right? As long if you're working on a Marvel movie or a DC movie or anything, just stop. Just stop posting on social media. Stop doing interviews. Stop doing all of it, right? Stop ruining my fun. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. My fun is going to get ruined because you can't keep your fucking mouth shut. Because you decided that you want to fucking antagonize a bunch of people for no reason, right? All right. All right. This is an article from Variety. Now, I don't have a Variety login or anything, right? They want me to like, hey, sign up. So it's a VIP plus story, right? So we're not going to read the entire story, obviously. We're just going to read the headline and the little bit that I'm allowed to read for free because fuck you, Variety. Why am I going to pay you for this? But it says piracy data. Film and TV no longer problem. Number one in 2025, it's manga. And just off that, right? Just off the fucking title alone, that's why manga is beating fucking comic books, guys. Manga is being pirated more than movies and TV shows. Now, you can say all you want about whether or not people are losing money, people are, corporations are getting, bad effects, people are stealing, blah, blah, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We've heard it before. So you've heard some of it from me, right? But the fact of the matter is, manga is at least reaching way more people, right? The amount of people that are now being able to read manga thanks to piracy has made it so that these people are now interested in manga, interested in anime, And I think this is why digital comics are a benefit. I know, again, right? You'll hear the arguments. You'll hear it from, even people within CG, people, in the mainstream, how, piracy is hurting it. Oh, poor Heather Antos doesn't get a fucking steak sandwich tonight because someone pirated the latest Gwenpool, whatever, right? I get it. But somehow people in Japan, the artist, the mangaka, they're still living. They're able to still afford food and housing and stuff, regardless of their IPs being pirated, right? And maybe I guess the answer is to sell physical media, to sell graphic novel sized comics and just put free shit online, right? Get people reading it. I don't know. Maybe create a second, a book, a cheaper sort of book that's free, right? Webtoons it, something. Because again, getting people to read it, I think, is the key, right? If no one's reading the comic, if they have to go to the comic shop or order it online and buy it and then read it, I think in 2025, those are huge barriers to entry for readers, right? When your choice is, hey, I got to get up, I got to take a shower, got to put clothes on, I got to go out, get my car, drive to the comic shop, find a comic, come home, read it, versus get up, go to my computer, click on the website, read the fucking manga. Which one sounds easier? And I know it sounds like laziness, right? It sounds like a huge fucking issue. But that's the reality, right? When it comes to kids, when it comes to people in this modern age, they're going to do what's easier. And I'm sorry, it is far easier to go to a website and read a manga for free versus go out and buy a comic book. So, again, I don't know. I don't know what it is, right? I don't have the answers, but I'm at least asking the questions, right? I'm not shying away from any of the realities. I'm not shying away from, what's going on and what people are saying and how people are acting, right? I'm not pretending like I know everything. Which is, I think, a difference between me and a lot of people, right? You've heard Niobe, his name thrown around on this channel and others, and he's really adamant about getting in comic shops. And I've talked about it before. I'm like, yeah, for him, it does kind of make more sense, right? He doesn't have a big audience. He doesn't have a big presence on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or whatever, right? So he needs eyes on his product. And whether that means comic shops or putting it free online, right? Maybe that's going to be the future of indies, right? And again, we're not talking the big guys, right? We're not talking like, Ethan Van Sciver can put out a comic book and he's got the attention and the pedigree and everything to do very well without any tricks, without any, theatrics, right? Shane Davis, John Malin, fucking Rob Liefeld could probably make a Kickstarter and make far more money than me. Even if my comic looked way better, looked, had a better premise, had better fucking colors and everything, right? Rob Liefeld could just shit out a fucking comic book and he's probably going to get far more money than I ever will, right? That's just the reality that we live in. Same thing with PewDiePie. If PewDiePie shit out a comic, he's going to get far more money than me. So that means I need something, right? I need something. And maybe that something is digital free, right? Like maybe I pay an artist to do 100-page book, right? And then I release over a month, over 2 months period, I release the books, slowly but surely, free, right? And then, all right, guys, you read it. You want it in your house. You want to buy the collected edition, right? Maybe put it on a website that has ads. Maybe that's the future. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think it's going to be a struggle going forward for a lot of people. Because again, you're fighting against an audience that is dwindling, right? Again, I don't want to insult anybody, but we're getting older. We're getting, we're not getting any younger. And if you look, I bet you if you look at the demographics in CG, the demographics in our circle, our sphere, it's probably like 35 and older, right? And so if we're not getting a lot of 20-year-olds, a lot of 25-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 16-year-olds, there's not a lot of teens, buying this. And if we're not buying the books for children, right? We're not buying the books and giving them to kids, giving them to our grandkids, our nephews, our nieces, right? Here's the new Cyberfrog, and if you want the next issue, go online and get it, nephew, right? If you're not doing this, eventually CG will die. Not because it deserves to, not because it was, had no quality, because all the fans are dead, right? If all the fans age out and they're 80-year-old people that are in homes that can't use the internet and buy the books anymore, that's it. You have to do something in order to get younger people, right? I mean, I guess if you're satisfied with, hey, I'm already old, I'm 43, gonna be 44 next month, right? If I go, hey, well, if I can make 10 years of this, that's all I need, right? I can do 10 years and then I'm out. I guess if that's like the future you want, or if that's the goal that you're setting for yourself, I guess it could work. But if you want this thing, if you're actually going, hey, I want this thing to last beyond me, right? When I die, I want CG to keep going. When I die, or when I age out, or I'm too old to write comics or to draw comics or whatever, I want there to be fresh faces in CG. And we're getting younger people as far as artists and writers. We're just not getting younger readers, right? I don't feel like we're getting people who are, like I said, 16, 17, 18, 20, right? That are interested in the product. We're getting people that are interested in making the product, right? They see, oh man, I could be a guy that does comic books. I could be a guy that writes and draws, right? Sells my product to these old guys. But I think the audience needs to extend, right? I don't want to say diversify. I don't want to say I don't use all the buzzwords, but damn, we got to do something. All right. But reading on, in this article, data uncovered by Musso shows written media was the fastest growing target for online piracy in 2024, largely thanks to manga. With the art form's worldwide appeal, views for unlicensed manga sites have grown by over 300% from 2019 to 2024. Again, there's an worldwide appeal. And I don't know, do we got to start translating our comics? Do we got to start targeting different versions? I don't know. I don't know. As with film and TV, lack of access to manga is the main driver behind the global surge in unlicensed demand. Yeah, but that lack of access and that global demand is also driving, purchases, buyers, interest, people going out of their way to get manga, to find out how to get it legally, right? We've seen it. And it says, while film and TV are usually what come to mind when discussing digital piracy, data from research firm Muso shows the fastest growing target in 2024 wasn't any kind of video format at all. That honor, or dishonor in this case, goes to written media, a spike almost exclusively due to Japanese manga. And then that's where the article cuts off, and they want me to pay money, and I'm definitely not going to. I might pirate this article, add to the list of things being pirated. I'm going to pirate articles off of websites. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, as it relates to us and, the idea. Remember, manga is beating comic books, right? But also manga is being more pirated than anything else, right? How are those two things? How can you're losing to a format that is being pirated far more than anything else? Think about that, right? Not only are you losing to manga, they're also huge chunks of it that are being stolen, given away for free, right? They're outselling you while also being picked up and read by a bunch of people who aren't paying for it. So if those people paid for it, right? Or if you included those people, at least in the number of readers or people interested in manga, man, comic books would be blown away, blown the fuck out. It'd be over. It'd be Jover. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All right. Speaking of comics, right? I just wanted to, this is not a detracting show, so I don't really want to get into the detracting. But I thought this was interesting enough that we should probably discuss it a little. But ISOM 3 launched Friday. That was on the 21st February. For anyone watching on the replay and wondering what day I'm talking about, but ISOM 3 launched, and in the 24-hour window, the 24-hour first day period, they only made $236,000. Now, out of context, if you don't know anything, if you're just hearing, oh man, they made 236,000, sounds fantastic, sounds great, right? It's for any of us, it'd be fucking fantastic. It'd be the best day ever, right? If I made $236,000 in the first day that my comic was on sale, I'd be over the fucking moon. It would be the best day ever. I would be parading down the street, letting everybody know how much money I made, right? I'd quit my job that day, okay? But for Eric, who has multiple employees, multiple things, all this overhead, warehouse rent, he's paying private security to make sure Riley doesn't shave him. And he's got all these expenses. Not to mention that the previous books did way better, right? So if we look in my tweet, Yaira number 1, okay, Yaira number 1, which was the third comic released, I believe, made 900,000. The Mammoth made 900,000 in day one sales. Alpha Core, which was written by Chuck motherfucking Dixon, 600,000 in day one sales. ISOM 3, the biggest character, the main focal point, the launching off point for the Rippaverse, right? ISOM 1 made 3.7 million. ISOM 2 made 2.5 million. The best-selling books in his arsenal, right? This is his Spider-Man. This is his fucking Batman. This is his bestseller. The highly, quote-unquote, anticipated comic. The conclusion to the ill-advised art. And you come out the gate with $236,000. Not even half of what Alpha Core did. Again, you had 40,000 people, 40,000 purchasers for that first campaign for ISOM. And now you're barely scraping by, right? ISOM 3, the drop is so fucking bad. Right off a cliff. I think that's it. And when I say that's it, I don't mean like, that's it. They're closing up shop and Eric's going. I think that's it for the hype. That's it for the $1 million sales. I think all the mystique around the Rippaverse, I think it's gone, right? I think Eric has overplayed his hand. We're no longer in a pre-ISOM world. We're no longer in a pre-Rippaverse world. I think people have seen everything he's got to offer. They know what his world is about, what his stories are about, what quality they can expect. And I think a lot of people are turning up their nose. They're passing on it, right? So his flagship character. Crazy. It's crazy. But we'll see. Maybe he's got some tricks, right? We'll see if he's got any tricks up his sleeve. I don't think, right? Originally, I thought it might make $1 million, right? It would, it's 75-day campaign window. I was thinking, it's gonna make $1 million still, right? Right now, I'm hard pressed to say that it would make 750,000, right? And that's only due to the length of the campaign, and I think he's gonna pump in a bunch of other products in the next couple of weeks to try to boost the numbers, the sales. But if he does less than Alpha Core, if he does Horseman numbers, I think that's it. Buddy. I think you might as well just call it a day and hand over your company to other people and run it leaner, right? Run the universe much leaner. Because obviously this is not working, right? The idea that you're hiring these pros, that you're getting all these books, that you're doing all this stuff is to increase profits, to increase readership, to increase customer base, right? And it keeps shrinking and it keeps spending less money. The plane is going down. It hasn't crashed yet, but the plane is going down and you guys are all going, nah, this is fine. This is okay. We meant to keep fucking free falling, right? Just like that one pilot lady who landed the plane upside down. I meant to land the plane upside down in the airport, guys. Fucking Eric July, guys. Eric July. All right. We got to review a comic. I said we're going to review some comics here every week, and I got one for you. It's a Marvel comic. It's a mainstream, right? Now, I'm going to propose to you guys, leave a comment on the video, not in the chat, because obviously I'm ignoring the chat as I do every week, right? It's not what kind of show it is. But in the comments on the video, on the replay or whatever, I want you guys to let me know. Do you want to see next week? This week we're doing a Marvel comic. We're doing a what if, right? But next week, I'm going to let you guys choose, right? Do you want to see me review Immortal Rising, right? Comic that threw the money back in Eric July's face. Or what if Aunt May died instead of Uncle Ben, right? Those are the two choices. So you got Immortal Rising number 1, or what if Aunt May had died instead of Uncle Ben? Okay. Those are your two choices. So let me know in the comments after the stream is over, which one you would prefer me to talk about. But this week, we're talking about What If, featuring Thor. Right? So let's bring this up. It's What If, featuring Thor. As you can see, it's a number 1. So you know that must mean good, right? And it was written by Robert Kirkman. Guys, this is a Kirkman comic. Whew. I know everyone blows Kirkman about how great he is and how fantastical his writing is, but spoiler alert, I hated this fucking book. This is terrible. This is a fucking terrible comic, right? From the art to the actual story, even the dialogue is kind of... but it is written by Robert Kirkman. We got Michael Avon Oming. He's the artist / cover artist. Vel Staples is the colorist. I think the colors are probably the best thing on this, if I'm being honest. Art Monkeys, David Lamphere is the letterer. Nathan Cosby, the assistant editor. Mark Panacea is the editor. And Joe Quesada, editor-in-chief. And, of course, Dan Buckley is the publisher. Fantastic, right? So What If, featuring Thor, right? So right off the bat, this comic is fucking retarded, okay? What If usually has a premise, right? There's usually a premise, like I just discussed, how I asked you guys if you wanted me to review What If Uncle Ben survived instead of Aunt May, right? What if Aunt May died, right? That's the premise. You have a hook, right? This is just What If featuring Thor. Like, if I saw this, I'd be like, I have no fucking clue what this is. This Thor becoming Galactus. It kind of looks like him and Galactus are coming together. Like, is Thor Superman? He's got a cape. He's got like a weird costume. Is he turned into the Sentry? What the fuck's going on? I have no idea what the premise is, right? But I will tell you, the premise is in the second page. It is, what if Thor was the Herald of Galactus? Okay? That's the premise. That's the idea. And again, originally, Originally, what ifs were not Elseworlds. What ifs were not supposed to be, hey, I got this wacky idea. What if Captain America decided to wear an Iron Man suit, right? That's not what if is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, hey, what if Deadpool and the Thing went on a road trip, right? That's not what if. What if is supposed to be a pivotal moment in the Marvel Universe that has happened in a different way, right? What if Captain America wasn't revived by the Submariner, right? What if Bucky survived World War II, right? Those are the things that is supposed to be. That's the idea, the essence of a what if, right? This is completely against the whole idea of what if, but I read it. So, all right. So I only got 4 pages. I didn't want to like scan everything. Like the book was so boring that there wasn't even like very interesting pages to scan. But this is the Watcher character, right? I say the Watcher character. It's not the Watcher, obviously, right? This is the framing device, the narrative device. So instead of the Watcher, classic what if, the Watcher would come out and go, you remember when Spider-Man's Uncle Ben was shot, but what if Aunt May had died, right? And you get this big dramatic and you kind of get filled into what's going on. And, it brings you up to speed as to what you need to know when you're going into the story, right? They'll tell you, hey, Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider. He got powers. He didn't use them responsibly. Uncle Ben died. But what if Aunt May had died instead, right? So it brings you like, boom, you're right up to speed. This, however, has this character, right? And says, my name is Hector. I have tapped into the other net. What is that? You ask? Well, I'll tell you. The other net is what I call the internet of another dimension. Yeah, you heard me right. Another dimension. That's pretty sweet, huh? Says, if it's recorded on the internet in this other dimension, I can access it. There's a wealth of ideas and information, stories of all kinds of alternative history stuff. It's pretty neat. I'm really into superheroes, so I kind of been focusing on that stuff. I know what I like. I've got my webcam going because it'd be a good idea to record some of my findings in my own words in case I wanted to put them on the net later or something. Oh, wait, my video's loaded. I haven't watched this yet. I'm really excited. It's about Thor, the Norse god guy. We haven't seen too much of him these days in this dimension, so I wanted to see what he's up to there. I'll totally update, folks, after I watch it. That's the premise. That's the hook. Originally, we get the Watcher who's peeking into other dimensions to see what's going on. This time, now we got a weird, nerdy guy who's somehow discovered the internet and other dimensions. So got an interdimensional internet. And again, not really interesting. We haven't been brought up to speed as to what's going on with Thor at this present moment in the other dimension, right? Also, he's watching a video, right? So I who recorded the video, right? So the story that we're reading, that we're watching, he's watching a video. It's we're looking through his eyes, essentially. And so the pages that we see would be what he's seeing in the video. But who the fuck is recording Thor's adventures, right? He's not watching a video of a guy talking about this stuff, right? It's not page after page of some guy giving a lecture or like, here's Balder the Brave, like recanting the story. No, this is supposed to be him watching a video. So again, the premise alone is retarded and it sucks. But in the story, we got Galactus shows up on Asgard, starts wrecking shit, starts doing his Galactus bit, and the heroes, they rally, right? So this is page 3 of the story, right? Because again, there really isn't a lot of good pages. But as you can see, the art, this is Loki. Loki looks like the guy who's about to fix my car for a 6-pack, right? Loki looks like he wants to smoke weed with me. But that's Loki there for you, folks. This chick, I don't know who this is. Is this supposed to be the Silver Surfer? Is this a female version of the Silver Surfer? She don't got a surfboard. It's not Frankie Ray. Originally, I thought it was Frankie Ray, right? Nova, but she's colored completely silver. And she's not named during this entire book. Now, Thor defeats her in a battle, and then she just fucks off and is never mentioned again, right? So she's not even important enough to give a name. She's not important enough to mention, and she doesn't come back later. Okay. But as you can see, some of this art is really bad, right? So this looks good. I like this guy's face, everything. But the main characters, this is Sif. This looks weird. It's weird and cartoony, and it's a style that I think doesn't work because you got Kirby crackles going on. You got all kind of like classic Thor stuff. But at the same time, you got this weird art style that I think does not fit. Thor's got a huge fucking chin, right? He looks like a dork. He looks like he's someone cosplaying as Thor, right? So the story goes that Thor, he meets up with Galactus. They fight. There's an epic battle. Beats the Herald, and then he decides that, hey, I can't beat Galactus. Galactus is just too powerful. And so he makes a deal. He strikes a deal with Galactus. I'll be your herald. I will be your herald. Should you spare Asgard, right? You know, typical. It's a typical Galactus story, right? In that regard, you know, most of the time it's like, hey, this guy shows up, Galactus shows up, and then they do the Norn Rad style deal where, hey, spare my world, and I'll be your herald. Now Thor, he goes around to planets that are primitive, that are evil, that are fighting, you know, because he doesn't want to like take any worlds that have sentient life. He doesn't want to take any worlds that have value, right? And we learned this because Galactus basically says, hey, you keep going to these worlds, these backwater worlds with like creatures and monsters, and you're fighting battles, and it's kind of wasting a lot of time, right? Like it'd be a lot simpler if we go to those other worlds, right? If you just take me to one of those other worlds with like those pussy people, right? That world, you know, Beta 3, Epsilon, right? We go there, all those cucks are there. We just fucking eat the world, and boom, it's fantastic. It's real easy. He goes, but you're searching out these worlds. It's taking forever. I'm still hungry. I'm not really satisfied. You're fucking up the flow, right? But he's like, hey, do what you want, right? You're the herald. You make the decisions. I follow you. You get me the meals. As long as you keep doing that, I don't give a fuck, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the deal that we got going on between these two. But then we find out that one of Odin's ravens shows up, right? And so he tells Thor that Odin's dead. Asgard's ruined. Loki's problem, right? So now Thor's pissed. He goes, hey, I got to go back. I got to go back there and take care of this shit, right? I got to take care of my homeland. I got to take care of Asgard. But Galactus says, no, you can't go back, right? You're fucking my herald. You're my herald. You can't leave. But Thor says, no, I'm going to leave anyway. And then, completely out of character for Galactus, he just lets him go. He goes, well, okay. You want to leave? We could fight. I could beat you. I could take your power back. I could strip you of the power cosmic. Because at this point, Thor has given up his hammer. His hammer stayed in Asgard. He only has the power cosmic. In every other instance, Galactus would have stripped the power cosmic from the person who is trying to rebel against him and then killed him, right? But in this instance, he just goes, okay, fuck off. Go back to Asgard, and I am going to follow you there. Because when I show up, I'm going to eat Asgard now, right? You done doomed Asgard. Thanks for playing, Thor. Which, again, completely out of character for Galactus. Kirkman, I don't know what he's basing this on. Maybe there's a version of Galactus that I haven't read that's just like indifferent to people like fucking with him. But Thor goes back, finds Asgard is indeed in ruin, right? And it's all because Loki. Loki's there, and he's got the frost giants. Now, we don't know how it got ruined. We just know that he goes to Asgard, and it's fucked up. There's frost giants. They're working with Loki. All the heroes, Balder the Brave, Warriors 3, Sif, they're all locked up. Odin's dead. We don't know if Odin died of natural causes, if Odin died in some other conflict, if Loki stabbed him in the middle of the night. We're kind of really not given that information. And also, we don't know why Asgard is still fucked up. And, most of the time, when Loki takes over Asgard, right? Loki wants to rule. He wants to be a ruler. That's like his motivation. He usually takes over Asgard, but usually it's his destruction, right? His fight. He goes in there and he fucks everything up. And then, so when he takes over, it's fucked up, right? Kind of like the Lion King, right? Like when Scar takes over, but he fought a bunch of them and he starts fucking everything up and the rules. And that's why the Pride Lands go to shit, right? But in this instance, Galactus had already fucked everything up, right? So how is it that Loki takes over and he fucks it up even worse, right? Like we're already fucked up. Everything's already pretty much destroyed. All we got to do is pretend to rebuild. Like Loki could just pretend to rebuild, but no, somehow he fucks it up even worse. Even though he would technically be the heir, Thor's fucked off, so Loki's the heir. He really doesn't have to do nothing. He could just become the king. He's the number one guy. He's the head prince. But I guess for the sake of story, they just got to be like, well, yeah, no, Asgard is really fucked up. It's super fucked up. So Thor goes there and he retrieves his hammer. He gets his suit back, and oh no, guess who shows up? Just because he was just one step behind Thor. Galactus shows up, and I think this is the only really fucking good shot in the whole comic. Right? I actually do like this. This very imposing fucking Galactus is like huge on the page. Loki's tiny. He's screaming no because he realized Galactus has come back. Right? And Galactus is back. Asgard's already fucked up. We couldn't fight him off the first time. We're even worse off than we were before. Now Galactus is back. We're fucked, right? He realizes that. And so, I think there's a good shot. I think, personally, though, so it takes up, I want to say, if you're just listening to the audio, if you're not watching the screen, it takes up about 75% of the page, right? Which I think is a problem. I would have liked it if it was the entire page, right? If we went full page fucking splash on this, because there's no splash pages in this whole fucking comic. It's not a double page splash, not a single page splash, nothing, right? But it was the entire page. We got even more, the grandiose nature of Galactus, right? I think it would have worked even better. I mean, this works well, but I think it would have worked better if it was the entire page. But the last two panels is, Loki's like, Thor, you can't allow this to destroy Asgard. You must help me. We must defend our home. Thor? ? So Thor does come back, right? But first he frees Balder. He frees the Warrior 3, right? And he comes back and he lets Odin down because he basically says, Galactus, Asgard sucks. Asgard's fucked up. Loki has fucked up Asgard beyond repair, so just eat the planet. He literally allows Galactus to eat Asgard, and he tells all of his guys to just go. He says, hey, I'm going to let Galactus eat Asgard, just go and fuck off to Midgard. So the rest of the Asgardian population, the Warriors 3, Balder the Brave, they all go to Midgard through a little portal, and we're left to believe that Galactus is now going to eat Asgard, and Thor's okay with it. Again, this is completely out of character for Thor. Thor's supposed to be a fighter. He's supposed to be very prideful and everything, right? He'd want to rebuild. He'd want to honor the legacy of Odin. But not this Thor, not this version. He also kills Loki, right? Which is weird because, again, he would never, it is so out of character. No matter how fucked up Loki has been, no matter what fucked up shit Loki has done, Thor would never kill him, right? It's like Batman would never kill Joker, right? It's like you just don't do that. There's certain things that would not happen. Thor always thinks of Loki as his brother. He's the god of tricks, trickster god. No matter what Loki does, Thor doesn't feel like he's irredeemable, right? He's like, he can always be saved. He's my brother. I gotta look out for him, even though he fucked up. He's the crack-headed brother I talked about earlier, right? Even though he's fucking up, he's still my brother, and I gotta look out for him. But not in this one. He just goes and zaps him with fucking. It's just blue light, to be honest. There's no lightning bolts. It's just he screams. Everything is blue, and there's a little Zetorch. That's literally ZTORRCH is the sound effect. And then next thing you know, Loki's a skeleton and dead. And then it ends with the framing device of the dorky guy from the beginning talking about how cool it was to see this story take place. It's bad. It's bad. It's terrible. It's a terrible fucking book. We don't even know when it takes place, right? Thor has his costume. Right? Thor has his classic Thor outfit, but if you read Thor comics, you know he doesn't get that until like the modern age. The idea of Thor wearing this outfit is because they saw the superheroes on Earth, and to emulate them, he put it on, right? And then there has been some sort of like retcons here and there, right? In an Invaders comic, he does show up wearing this outfit, right? But then there's older stories where he's wearing like a more Norse style outfit, right? But at the very least, knowing where this is at in the time frame, we were like, well, why didn't Galactus shows up? Why didn't Thor contact the Avengers? Why didn't Thor contact Doctor Strange? Why didn't why isn't he aware of the Silver Surfer? Why isn't he like, where's the Silver Surfer? Who's this herald, right? Like, there's a lot of questions because we don't know when it takes place, because the story isn't about an event. The story isn't about a pivotal moment in the Marvel Universe. The story is just, hey, make Thor the Herald of Galactus and then make it make sense, right? So yeah, this is terribly written. Again, I don't know if there's editorial oversight, if Kirkman was told to write a particular style of story, a particular style of what's going on. But this is bad. This is a bad fucking book. It's terrible. I can see, why Marvel Comics get so much shit. Reading this one, I understand. I understand why Marvel Comics get shit, because What If has always been one of my favorite books, right? Because even if I don't read Thor comics, I can pick up a What If, and like I said, you usually get filled in on the backstory, you get a little introduction to the character, and then you get a little weirdness, a little different take on things, right? But it's good. It's like a one-off, right? I don't have to be invested in Thor comics. I can pick up this What If Moon Knight. I don't read Moon Knight comics, but I could read a What If, Moon Knight, and it'd be a little interesting story about Moon Knight. Get a little exposure to the character. This is terrible, right? Like, if I didn't know anything about Thor and I read this, right, as like a Captain America fan, but let me pick this up, right? Let me see what's going on. I would be put off. I'd be like, I don't want to read Thor. This is not interesting. The characters seem stupid. So yeah, What If featuring Thor? Terrible. Don't pick it up. Don't buy it. Unless you're trying to like complete some kind of collection or something, I would not buy this comic. I would not recommend it to anybody. And I feel dumber for having read it. But hey, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. Let me know if you read this one or similar ones. This is from 2006, so I guess maybe that era of What If is just completely different from what I'm used to. Maybe I'm just used to the classic What If stories, and reading this is so different that maybe that's why I don't like it. And maybe because I've been checked out of Marvel for so long, I don't like it, right? Yeah. All right. We've been here for 90 minutes. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget, let me know what you want me to review next week. The What If Aunt May died instead of Uncle Ben, or the Immortal Rising CG comic, right? Any other thoughts? Leave them in the comments. I'll definitely read them next week. That was fun. That was interesting. And don't forget, next week, tell your friends, because Ethan Ralph himself, the Ralph Mail, will be here. And who knows? Like I said, we both had experiences going to the Barbie Dream Mansion. He's back from rehab. He's on the warpath. So who knows what sort of things could be said, right? He could say things that I could dispute. He could say things that I could confirm about certain situations, right? I know some things. He knows some things. Together, we might be able to tell you some things. So definitely tune in next week. And as always, love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.